How's it going there, everyone? It's Mr. Sand over here bringing you guys a brand new Bungo Stray Dogs anime discussion. And for today's anime, guys, we are going to be talking about Bungo Stray Dogs episode 5, guys. And granted, though, this episode, guys, I actually was fairly entertained due to the fact that in this episode, guys, we actually are finally going along with the main storyline and cast members of the original Bungo Stray Dogs, you could say the plot line. Granted, though, you know, back in the past, we actually were looking at Daizai and his actual former encounters with the Port Mafia was very entertaining and very dark too. We're actually going to be noticing that we're actually going to be looked at some of these dark undertones that were actually involved in that actual flashback, guys, in this actual, you say, episode, and the following episodes are going to be ensuing on board, guys, because in this episode, guys, we are actually involved with the guild members actually finally being here, guys, in Japan. We are actually finally noticing the Port Mafia actually start making a move in this episode, guys. Granted, though, this episode, guys, I personally thought that this episode was very executed very perfectly, guys, because due to the fact that after watching the last 4 episodes and then coming into this episode, the way that they did it was very interesting. Now, granted, it was actually split into 3 parts, guys. First, it was split into the comic relief part where it involved actually Jinichiro and Naomi in the beginning of the episode, and they actually are just, you know, having a normal chat and talking about Koyoka and her involvement with her past, you can kind of say, or her death of her parents, and somehow she has to go to court and something along the lines of that. And I'm here thinking, like, okay, that's very interesting due to the fact that, you know, we're going to be involved more with Koyoka in herself, and this episode was actually very involved, very much with Koyoka, not only with the Port Mafia, but the guild members themselves, guys, because in the beginning of the first part of the comic relief part, it involved with, you could say, Jinichiro and Naomi. It was a little bit of an edgy kind of, or they were trying to make it an edgy kind of scene, in a sense, in the beginning of the episode, but then later on, then another part of the comic relief part, kind of involved in the Act 1 of this part, was more along the line with Atsushi and then with Kayoki at the, you could say, at the courthouse, and they were kind of trying to get, you could say, the judge's paperwork all the way to him, but then they kind of did it in a very comical sense there, with involved Koyoka actually breaking in the courthouse themselves. And I'm thinking, like, that's actually pretty interesting, but in real life, can you really imagine doing that? No, right? Can you imagine? Not necessarily, guys. But like I said, I did like the fact that they actually, like I said, they did it very perfectly, because after that, the episode then actually starts climaxing into the main parts of the actual story, guys. In the Act 2 of this actual episode, guys, then evolves into the intro of the villains. Yes, guys, the villains are now entered the actual Japan, and they're here to stay, guys. We are first introduced with actual John Steinbeck and H.P. Lovecraft. These 2 characters were actually involved because in the beginning of the beginning of this part of the second part of the act, guys, it's actually Atsushi and Kyoki. They're attacked by this brand new character called Omisaka Koyo, and she's from the Port Mafia herself. You could say she's one of the top executives from the Port Mafia. And in this actual part, guys, you're actually noticing that Omisaka Koyo is actually controlling Koyo's snow demon, guys, and that's very interesting because remember, the snow demon inside Koyo, she can't control it herself. She has to. It's involuntary actions that the snow demon does. It always involves somebody actually calling her through a cell phone, and the snow demon actually comes out. And Omisaki was actually trying to bring back, you could say, Koya back to the Port Mafia in itself. But like I said, this is where you could say the guild members actually finally came in, and they actually finally gave themselves some extra exposition in themselves, saying that, you know, we're here to stay, and we're going to make a name for ourselves, and they're going to take down this city, no matter who it is, a detective agency or the Port Mafia. And it was hilarious too at the same time, because they didn't show the battle as to what was going on between these three, you could say, 3 guilds and 3 actual agencies. No, they didn't show that. They kind of skipped. They showed that the Port Mafia lost, and they showed that that the detective agency lost, and they took Koyoka, guys. Like I said, they took Koyoka, and that's it, guys. She's gonna be the main star of the actual rest of the arc, guys, and that's very interesting, because then in Act 3 of the episode, then it actually involves actually Dazai and the actual, you could say, detective agencies, you know, the leader, are actually now getting and implementing themselves ready for a war, guys. Yes, they're actually getting themselves ready for a war, because they're noticing that the guild members are pretty powerful, and they're noticing that, in a sense, guys, the detective agency looks like they might lose, because the guild members have far more people from the looks of it too, guys. Far more people, far more, I would say, more tactical as well, and in the style of guerrilla warfare too, guys, because the way they kind of introduced themselves was very, very quickly too, and they demolished the detective agency, and they defeated Konikita, Kenji, just those two. From the looks of it, it was just those two. But still though, Konikita and Kenji are very powerful opponents to be not taken down lightly, so it just goes along to say that, you know, these characters, they're actually a lot formidable than they are. But granted though, Kenji and Konikita were actually manhandled by the you could say their mass army. But I would say that was basically the bulk of the episode. But Omisaka Koya, she was actually more introduced in this episode, and Daizai actually was involved with Omisaka Koya in this episode more and more along the lines. Because remember, back in the flashback, they never introduced to Omisaki. So it just goes on to say, but in this episode, they explained that Omisaki knows very well what Daizai is actually capable of. But I did like the fact that they kind of did a little scene that involved both of them together in the room. And it was so hilarious because Daizai explained to her that, you know me so well, why are you holding back? And I'm here thinking, like, that's true, but they actually showcased something very, very entertaining. Like, the way that Daizai, he locked the room, and he told Omisaki to, many people that have been interrogated by me, they always give up. And it kind of gave off like a creepy, like, rape-based kind of feel onto it. And I'm here thinking, like, whoa there. What were the creators trying to actually explain on this? But we all know Daizai is not really interested in women, like, in that kind of sense. But still, it just gave off that vibe, in a sense. And it's just hilarious, guys. I thought the episode itself was actually entertaining, nonetheless, because throughout the whole entire episode, we're actually just getting more and more exposition as to what's going to be happening into this actual arc, guys. And in the end of this episode, guys, all three of the members, all three agencies, all three freaking people, all these members are all freaking ready to go to war, guys. It's freaking amazing as to how they're gonna be doing this, guys. And granted though, it's very actual, like, I was actually frightened when Scott F. Fitzgerald was actually introduced again in this episode. It was showing just how powerful he was. They showcased a little bit of what his power was actually being capable of, and it seems to be that he seems to be actually be able to make everything into explosives from what it looks like, guys. Because it was interesting because he grabbed like a regular bullet or a bullet shell, you could kind of say, and he just he grabbed it and he launched it and then it just exploded. And I'm here thinking, like, is that his power to actually make people into living bombs? I'm here thinking, like, that's freaking whoa, that's like a massive suicide. Like, all you have to do is just touch somebody and that's it, and you're just dead meat. Like I said, it's great to see how they're actually going along with this actual arc, guys. I can't wait to see Scott F. Fitzgerald go against the freaking guild members, guys. Can't wait. And granted, guys, the intro song and the ending song was amazing again, guys. I did love the fact that the intro song did give a little bit of foreshadowing elements involved in there, because we got to see a lot of Moby Dick in the actual intro, guys. We got to see Moby Dick in there. Holy snap. I was actually excited when I saw Moby Dick, because I'm like thinking, how are they going to introduce this character in there? How are they going to do that? What the heck? Oh. But luckily though, like I said, they didn't show it in this episode, but in the intro song they did show what's actually being capable of. And by the way, Moby Dick was like the size of the freaking Titanic boat. Holy snap, guys. I was that excited. I am really excited, guys. I'm telling you, I can't wait. Like I said, this season is off to a great start, and I can't wait to see more and more of what's going on. Atsushi is not you could say the main star of it anymore, due to the fact that it seems that they actually took Koyoka, and I was kind of lost too at the same time, due to the fact that I thought the guild members wanted Atsushi for his actual organs, because remember, they want to sell his organs in the black market. So why did they take Koyoka? Are they trying to actually grab Atsushi away from the guild themselves? Like I said, it's kind of interesting though. Kind of interesting. But like I said, guys, that's it for today's episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. But let me know down in the comments below, what was your favorite scene, guys? What did you guys enjoy of this episode so far? What are your guys' expectations to this actual arc that we're actually introduced, guys? And what did you guys think of John Steinbeck's power, the Grapes of Wrath? Like I said, I thought that was a power like teleportation, but I could be wrong. It could be something else, guys, since you guys read the manga, and I have not read the manga. But like I said, let me know down in the comments below, what are you guys' thoughts on overall of this episode, guys? And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, give a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Bungou Stray Dogs anime discussions. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day. But this is Mr. Zen, signing out.